Hey, happy Friday. So, this is our weekly market update, okay? Not a whole lot has changed. So, right now you can see that there is still a overbalance of new listings versus what is going under contract, okay? We have new listings this week at 8,359, while pending transactions are only 7,066. So pending transactions represent buyers and new listings represent sellers. And you can see that there's still a 25% imbalance where there's 25% more sellers putting their houses on the market than there is new buyers entering the marketing and putting them under contract. Okay, so we're still in a buyer friendly market. Not that you can't sell your house because houses still sell very well, but the trajectory for the market is going to be a buyer's market moving forward, at least over the next 90 days from the data that we're looking at. Price decreases are still way up. You know, last week it was like 12,000. This week it's 11,600. So it's still a substantial amount of price decreases, and that's just because there's a lot of listings coming on. There's a lot of supply, and then there's a lot of people trying to get buyers in their house, and the way they're doing that is by dropping prices as much as they can to attract buyers, and that's what's going on for the most part. And then you still have this high figure of back on market. So back on market details when a house is going under contract and it comes back on the market means that the buyers came in, they made an offer, and then for reasons of either inspection or financing, the house came back on the market. So these are very high figures. These two price decreases and back on market, these are very, very high figures. So we would need these to kind of plateau, and we would need the pending transactions to be equal to the new listings, and then at that point we would have a balanced market. Okay, so that's that. Now, with regards to mortgage rates, we are looking at basically, let's see what the mortgage rate is today. Mortgage rates today. So right now it's at 6.91%. All right, and that's just the way it's been. It's been like this for a year and a half now, just bouncing between a low of like 6.1 up to a high of about 6 point or 7.25, and we're at 6.91. So that's just the way it is, and it's been. I know we look at this figure a lot, but the fact is that when we look at the NBA mortgage applications, we're still seeing that. Oops, wrong one. Hang on 1 second. Data, mortgage applications. Where are you at? Here we go. We're still seeing that the mortgage applications, they're still just in this zone. They've been in this zone for a long time now. And this is from about a year ago. I mean, look at it. It just has been in this area. And then if you look at it over a 5 year period, you see that the minute they got interest rates over 6%, which was in about July of 2022, this has just been the buyers in the market. These applications represent buyers, and it's just been like this. There's little peaks, and then it drops back down, and it's basically all these peaks are when the interest rates get closer to 6%, and when it drops down like this, it's when they're getting closer to 7%. And we just have had this going on, the same total of buyers in the market for the past, since the end of 2022. So it's just that's the environment of the market that we're in. And going forward, if you're selling your house, you want to make sure you got to make sure that the house is done correctly, and that you're hiring somebody who knows what they're doing, and that the house is going to be presented like it's supposed to be, and that you're going to have every single possible avenue to market that house and get it out there to all the buyers that are out there. And you want high qualified buyers getting into your house. And we're still seeing 2 to 3 showings per week when the house is acceptable to the buyers. And that just means that when the buyers overall accept the price of the house, they show up 2 to 3 times per week. And it doesn't matter if your house is priced at $100,000 or $10 million. That's the way it goes. When the overall buyer market accepts the price, they show up 2 to 3 times per week in this market. All right, so that's that. And obviously, if you're buying right now, you're going to be able to get discounts. It's just going to happen. Most houses are going to be overpriced. It always happens like that. And you're going to be able to go in there and get a discount. If you're a buyer who wants to get some relief in regards to closing costs, then that's easy to do too. It's easy to ask a seller for a discount and to ask for closing costs because look at this. It's just there's a lot of people trying to sell and they get bad advice and they come in and it's not done correctly and they're having to do all these major price drops. And if a house sits on the market for more than 60 days, there's going to be problems and there's going to be discounts that are going to be happening, and sellers unfortunately lose a lot of money in this market when the house sits on the market for too long. It's a very sad thing to see, but it is happening. So hopefully it doesn't happen to you, and it will never happen if you work with us. But we have to let you know that that is what's going on. So it's a good market to sell. We're still at all-time highs, and it's just coming off the top a little bit. But if you're buying, it's a great time to get out there and find some homes that are done incorrectly. They've been on the market for a while. You can get some really good discounts right now. So that's it. I will talk to you guys soon.